How is it possible that we hear nothing about Kyrie Irving being an asshole? Nothing. He's not distributing copies of Mein Kampf courtside anymore. Wearing like a Das Boot shirt. Fucking asshole of a human being. But, Jesus.
Someone got to him, like either age. I'm sure he has kids by now. Being an adult, whatever has got something happened because it's night and day. Like it's so funny. People are trying to compliment him, and I wanted to criticize him, and then I thought, I'm like, wait, I haven't heard anything. I didn't even know he was still playing, so he must be quiet.
He's as quiet and respectful as Mike Conley would be.
Yes.
Right? A guy that never has been immersed in any controversy in his lifetime, going all the way back to his days at Ohio State.
The time. Wake up with Defo, joined by Lubie. Welcome to the Defo Show.
It's funny how the memory goes, Lubie, and you feel like you have to constantly challenge whether or not you're accurate. Conley did go to Ohio State, right? Yeah,
yes. You know, that's why you didn't hear me correct you. I was proud that you remembered that. It was Greg Oden.
I remember what I was talking about. Yeah, that's right. He was on those Greg Oden teams, and wow, what a mistake was made with Greg Oden. Huh? Was that Portland that drafted Greg Oden? Was that right up there with the Sam Bowie draft?
Bowie, Durant, who's now going to be arguably a top 10 player ever, and Oden played like 5 years.
Imagine that. You took Greg Oden over Kevin Durant at that point. Wow. Holy Stu.
Well, remember they had Brandon Roy, who went through his own injury things. They needed a big, and the big still was the dominant thing. Shaq still was playing, and you had, I don't know if you Zoe, who was a big factor still, and Dunk, like the big was still the center of things, and Oden was averaging like 20 and 10 using the wrong hand, so it was like shit when he fixes his hand.
Oh, remember that? He was shooting free throws lefty.
He used the wrong hand and was still as good as anyone in the country. So it was like, wow, when he has the right hand, the problem is he had already had injury issues, and they just followed him. And once you have knee and leg stuff as a big, we've seen with Porzingis, like it's the kind of thing that sort of lingers.
By the way, still questionable for the opener June 6th.
I just think it's funny. Like,
what kind of calf strain is this? Can you not overcome that a little quicker than that?
Porzingis, he's always hurt, and every injury he gets is belabored and drawn. It's why I said it all year. Like, and Celtics fans are like, well, he played 70%. I'm like, yeah, he was never hurt. He played.
Everybody mocked you, Lubie, the entire season, including me.
I was right. He's never played. He's always hurt. And by the this time of the year, he's always hurt. Like, I don't remember him ever playing in a playoffs, and he's been on teams that went to the playoffs. Like, so to me, it's like, well, we have someone hurt too. No, you don't. He's never going to play. To count on Porzingis is just fucking stupid. It was a stretch move. It's why he would have fit on the Heat. Didn't even think of getting him. They have enough injured guys as it is. Like, this is Porzingis. He may come back. He'll have gone like 2 months by that point. Like, you're going to.
Here's the latest, although I'm seeing conflicting things about this. Celtic star Kristaps Porzingis has ramped it up in workouts, but coach Joe Mazzulla said Wednesday he's not sure if the 7-2 forward will be ready for the NBA Finals opener on June 6th.
Okay.
It'd be kind of weird to come back in the middle of that series, wouldn't it? Although I'm thinking, would he not be a necessity if you have to go against? It's doubtful that Towns and Gobert will be in the finals. Down 3-1 to the Dallas Mavericks with Game 5 of that series tonight in Minnesota. And I don't know if it's possible. We've been speculating. Eventually, somebody has to come back from an 0-3 deficit in an NBA series, don't they? Or do I go out the door without ever seeing that happen?
You probably don't see it because, again, last year you had a team come back from 3-0, be home for Game 7, and then they were getting pummeled. And yes, Tatum got hurt, but Tatum played the entire game. And he put up pretty good numbers in that game, and he were dominating them before Tatum got hurt. So it didn't happen last year. I don't know. I mean, and they were the 1 seed that came back, roaring back, and the Heat had their own injury issues, and Jimmy Butler was already not himself with injuries from that Knicks series, and the Heat still found a way to win that Game 7. So, yeah, it's just tough. I'm not saying it won't ever happen in the world, but I don't see it happening in that series.
Over or under? Do I have 10 years left? Do I make 83, Lubie?
I think you're
So it
in
would
good
have to
shape.
happen in the next 10 years for me to have any kind of a promising chance. All right. Good to be with you guys. We're going to have a trivia challenge coming up. Dave Gurggles Gergely. We had some technical issues last week with Gurggles, and we're hoping everything's cool and copacetic. He's going to join us here in a few minutes, and you can play too and get involved in the game if you'd like to at 954-417-0070. 954-417-0070 if you'd like to join us here. Tonight's the night, though. Madison Square Garden, New York City. Pivotal game 5 between the Panthers and the Rangers. It's been kind of an airtight series, although if you were to go into the scorecards after 12 rounds, Louis, you would have to say that this would be maybe like 116, 112, 8 rounds to 4, favor of the Florida Panthers. It does appear, as you're watching these games transpire, that the Panthers are the better team of the two. The exception would be, I suppose, that is Shesterkin outplaying Bobrovsky in the series, but not by much. I mean, he's facing far less action, Bobrovsky, than Shesterkin is. And yet, here we go. I mean, you're going to need this guy tonight. You're not feeling too comfortably about this game, are you, Lubie? I don't. That's maybe a good sign. It's reverse Nichols. Yeah.
Maybe. I'm not saying to lose. I feel like this would actually be a good spot for them. They've controlled this series. It feels like they popped a cherry of some sort, being able to win in overtime after losing 2 in back-to-back games in overtime. It's not like Bobrovsky's hurting them. It just feels like the way this team's worked, at least in this series, in these playoffs. I mean, the Bruins series, I think they should have ended it in 5. They were controlling that series as well, and that went 6. And it felt like it was getting close to going 7. And that would have been real fun. It feels like this team is not going to be as easy as it could be. Like tonight, it's right in the Panthers' wheelhouse. They did what they had to do. They screwed around a little bit, but found a way to win that game, get to 2-2. You go to Madison Square Garden. They play well on the road. You come home. You go to back-to-back Stanley Cup finals. It feels like it's there for them. I don't know if it's going to be that easy. It's just as we were talking about on other shows, the Rangers' number 1 line is legit, one of the best lines in all of hockey. They haven't scored. The line hasn't scored a goal. Like
nothing. Yeah. Zibanejad, Kreider, who had that hat trick in the Carolina game that was a clinching game.
Panarin, who's
game
really
6,
good.
Panarin, the Russian who that was a big debate actually when both Panarin and Bobrovsky were free agents. Which Russian do you go with? And Dale Talon went for the goaltender, which seemed to be a glaring weakness and a big hole that the Panthers needed to fill at the time. And then Bobrovsky had an awful season his first year here and looked to be one of the biggest mistakes in free agent signing history. But he did bounce back and redeem himself, and now is a vital cog in any chance the Panthers would have to win the Stanley Cup, playing well enough for them to do it. How pivotal is this game, though? I mean, you talk about a pivotal game 5. Everything's riding on this. If the Rangers win, they guarantee themselves a trip back to the Garden for that, at the very least, a second chance to close out the series at home in a game 7. And if the Panthers win, then they put the Rangers right up against the wall there. Holy Gary Gilmore. Don't let them shoot until I have this last drag off a cigarette and a blindfold, please. But if the Panthers can prevail, then they obviously have the chance to close this out at home, and then still, if they whiff on that, would have a second chance on the road, which has not been as treacherous in the NHL as we've seen in other sports, as the road teams have won the dominant portion and percentage of games so far contested in the postseason. All right, we got a lot of things on the plate here, and many interesting sporting events to peruse, and we'll touch on a couple of things later on. But we want to get to Dave Gurggles Gergely and the Trivia Challenge because we missed Dave last week. He was shut out due to technical difficulties, and here he is today. How are you, David?
Doing fine.
Looking good.
Looking forward to tonight's Panthers game. I think if Scruden could get the puck to Mellanby and Ray Ferraro, and Paul Ross and Todd Worrell can stick up to Remke, and if Kevin Weeks stays healthy behind Van Beesbrook, we got it.
Ferraro, good for you. That's the one.
Yeah, no, that was a great time. I remember the Polyman and I, we went to a dollar store and we bought 300 plastic rats for $300. We ended up getting stuck with about 200 of them because we were trying to unload them outside the gates there for $5 a pop. And the people weren't necessarily biting on that, and it's always insulting to have somebody just make a face at you when you say, hey, they say how much, you go $5. Yeah, fuck you. And,
well, I'm sure I told you, Billy Herman back then had 200 rubber rats for the people at Shula's Steak 2 back then. And when the Panthers scored, they threw them at the big screen. We picked them up, gave them back to the people until they scored again. Well, after 3 or 4 beers, some threw it when they scored, and some waited till we were picking them up, then threw them at us.
You know what's really weird about that? I'll never forget this. Jeff Weinseer from Channel 10 showed up when all the rats were on the ground there, and he immediately tried to bust Don Shula. Went straight to Shula's house and said, a lot of rats in your restaurant there, Don. Weinseer, that's a real stretch. Maybe that reference was also. All right, we have the trivia challenge, and are you set for that? How are you feeling about this, Dave, the trivia challenge?
Doing good. Some of these answers are, I had them ready last week, but they're pretty timely. And after this week, I'm off Saturday to Allentown, Pennsylvania for the annual old-time athletes reunion, where we talk about how good we thought we were back then. So
this is great. Today, and what's that? That involves like a golf tournament, a barbecue?
No. It's a big picnic. There's about 8 high schools within 10 miles of each other, and we all played against each other in different sports. We all gather together, bury the hatchet, and talk about how good we used to be. And like you used to say at the family reunions, what happened to you? Yeah.
My very first college relationship of any significance was with a young lady named Dale from Allentown, PA. So I did visit her on a couple of occasions, and her father was not a big fan of mine. He kept asking me what I was studying in college, and at the time I was thinking about being a philosophy major.
Oh, Jesus.
He just looked at me across the table there and basically gave her a look like, you got to lose this guy. And he's a complete waste of time, which he probably was onto something. As it wasn't like I was on solid ground my entire professional career. That's for sure. All right, we'll give out the number here and line up and play if you'd like. We're going to come right back with Dave Gurggles Gergely and the Trivia Challenge, 954-417-0070. Love to hear from you. And we'll be back with the Trivia Challenge, this week's edition, in a moment with Dave Gurggles Gergely. Now that. The time. It's 8:25. Champions, the outstanding simulcasting room at beautiful Hialeah Park. Yes, the grand old lady of thoroughbred racing has never been more vibrant, and you can wager on the races from the top tracks around the country while enjoying a cocktail at the Brass Rail Bar or any of the fine food served throughout the facility. If poker is your game, you're covered in style, and you can play all your favorite Vegas-style games, including blackjack, craps, and roulette, in Hialeah Park's sizzling hot casino. Get a player's card when you walk through the door for all kinds of generous amenities, including our favorite, free play, when you come out to the ultimate casino and entertainment destination, Hialeah Park.
These days, we're all looking for comfort anywhere we can find it. Thank goodness for Landlubber's Raw Bar and Grill in the Plantation, because they are making sure you are as comfortable as possible. First of all, they're not only open for delivery and pickup. All you have to do is go to landlubbersbarandgrill.com for both pickup and free delivery. You're going to have the best wings in the world. You're going to have a great burger. You're going to have their amazing soups. Again, Landlubbers, Raw Bar and Grill. It's nice and easy. Just go to landlubbersbarandgrill.com for both your pickup and free delivery. Thank goodness for Landlubbers for making you always feel right at home.
Are you looking to buy your first home? Have you been turned down for a loan? Do you need to refinance or get money out of your home? Call Michael Kodsey, CEO of Choice Mortgage. He's been helping the South Florida community get mortgages for 30 years.
Hi, this is Michael Kodsey, CEO of Choice Mortgage. We have the most competitive fixed rates in the market. Call me 24/7, 561-441-2730. And remember, I don't just work banking hours. To make the right choice for your home, call Choice Mortgage today.
Oh, Solo Volante will be coming late. Oh, Solo Volante, the Belmont's now 1.8 miles. The finish line is coming up quick. Luca Panici, just switch the stick.
The only way to get your morning started is with Defo, joined by Lubie, right here on the Defo Show.
And we're going to swing into the Trivia Challenge, one of the hottest games in the history of broadcasting, as we have Dave Gurggles Gergely going to conduct that. And, of course, We did hear, Gurggles, you'll love this, even though you didn't make it on the show last week. The Polyman did.
Oh,
and
great.
Came on. It was brilliant. He was talking about things that I've said in the past that have consequences. And it's a brilliant dissertation by the Polyman. So we go ahead and dedicate, of course, he hasn't checked out or anything. Don't worry about that. But we're going to dedicate this game, of course, to our esteemed colleague for many years. And you would have to say largely responsible for the creation of this thing. The Polyman, Paul Massell. All right, we're going to get right into it. 954-417-0070. 954-417-0070. So in honor, as we said, of the Polyman and all of his great contributions to the broadcasting business here in South Florida, we have Dave Gurggles Gergely to start us out with some
easy baseball. This teammate of Hank Aaron on his batting prowess said, trying to sneak a fastball past Hank Aaron is like trying to sneak the sunrise past a rooster. What's that? Joe Adcock, Mike Babcock, Peter Lecoq, or Lou Brock?
All right, let's roll the random phone scrambler. And our first player is Ron. Ron, you're on the Trivia Challenge. Good morning, Ron.
Good morning, fellas. Let's go with A.
A's on the money. You have 1 point. You're in the game.
All right, Ron, we had this one ready. After the Preakness, we'll throw it at you. Horse racing. Just like the Derby, horses beginning with the letter S have won the most times at the Preakness. True or false?
True.
No.
False.
False.
Oh,
The letter that won the most was C, like
C.
in cloud computing.
Very nice, Gurggles. All right, tough one there, Ron. 1 point going for 4.
All right, hockey. Which Hall of Famer goaltender holds the record for most goals allowed in one final Stanley Cup series?
Okay.
Is that Martin Brodeur, Ken Dryden, Tony Esposito, or Patrick Waugh?
Pretty distinguished list.
Oh, boy. Let's go with Brodeur.
Martin Brodeur.
No.
I'm going to go Patrick Waugh.
Tony Esposito allowed 32 goals in a 6-game series versus Montreal in 73.
Wow. More than 5 goals a game. I'm going to take it he was on the losing side of that. It's tantamount to being a human fucking sieve. What are you talking about?
Bobrovsky's a monster.
All right, Ron, chance at 6 points to set the pace.
All right, Ron, you're pretty good at sports movies. Let's give you this one. Which former NFL player portrayed Spear Chucker Jones, who helped the MASH team win their game versus a rival unit? Was that Clarence Peaks, Timmy Brown, Leroy Harris, or Kenny Houston?
I don't know. Jimmy Brown.
No, well, it's not
Brown.
Jimmy, but you got the right ones. Timmy Brown.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
That's correct. Timmy Brown, then of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Does that count? I mean,
he said Brown.
Was the only one that had Brown in the last name.
He could have said Hannah Brown from The Bachelor.
That's the right last name.
Let's put it this way: between him and Lenny, make that one count.
Les Brown. I mean,
so he has what, 6? That was his 5-pointer, right?
6 points. Yeah, he ends up with 6. Setting the pace here. All right, very good, Ron. All right, join us at 954-417-0070 if you'd like to play. 954-417-0070. Later on tonight, I don't know if Gurggles is going to be a participant in this thing, but we know that Lubie will be at Landlubbers with the professor for what has been deemed by many, and I think rightfully so, the #1 live trivia competition that you could possibly participate in. So get yourselves ready for that. That's at Landlubbers in Plantation. That's Pine Island and Sunrise. And always a great spot. Tremendous specials. Alex Sufreen, one of the really, really good guys in the restaurant business, of which there are many, as Lubie and I have discovered from the Mike Mayo Lunchbox experience. A lot of great people in the business. Sufreen happens to be one of them and does a dynamite job running a sports bar. You won't have to worry about, hey, can we get the basketball game on here?
Oh, he's a lunatic.
Well, the best thing about it is sometimes I will arrive there right from Gulfstream, and being a Thursday, I'll have something in the twilight at Churchill, and you look up, there's TVG on one TV right there. Yep. And then tonight you got the hockey and the basketball and the cheeseburger specials.
All kinds of good stuff. Yeah, no doubt about it.
We will have to, yes, the game doesn't start. Well, it says 8. They've been starting on 8:20, so we'll be done.
You guys finish always
quarter to 8, 10 to 8.
Yep.
So will be the pregame. They will have the game, and they will have it on the speakers because he is Alex Sufrine. So that place has become a nice Panthers hub. So I hope a lot of people come out for the trivia, but also to hopefully watch the Panthers prove me wrong and make Defo right, which would make me very happy and win.
The fact that you have gone against the Panthers in this game it emboldens me to maybe even unload some of my own hard-earned cash, which is in scarce supply these days, but nonetheless, it might be worth a shot. All right, let's get right back into it. Dave Gurggles Gergely, our next set of questions.
Hockey. This player on the reason for numbered jerseys in the NHL said, the real reason hockey players wear numbers because you can't always identify the body with dental records. What was that? Bob Plager, Barclay Plager, plagiarize, or Betty Davis eyes?
All right, let's roll the scrambler. And the Chronic is up next. Lenny, the Chronic, who no doubt will be a featured person involved in the competition tonight there at Landlubbers. Chronic, how are you? Good to have you on the show.
Good morning. How you doing, guys? Good.
Good morning, Chronic Man.
Doing good.
Hello, Lenny.
Hello, Gurggles.
All right.
All right, we're gonna just toss Lenny the point there. A's notwithstanding. Yes. All right, one going for two, Lenny.
All right, football, Lenny. True or false? Believe it or not, following Super Bowl I, none other than Bart Starr appeared as the mystery guest on What's My Line, back then hosted by John Daly. True or false?
Oh, God.
Let's say true.
No, you made that up?
No, believe it or not, it was false. But you know who did appear? Ray Nitschke appeared.
Nitschke was on.
Interesting.
Oh, man.
Nobody would have recognized him as a football player.
Never.
They used to have, and they would have two guys that looked like Arnold Stang, as the other part of the panel there.
Well, no, they were blindfolded. They had Dorothy Kilgallen,
yeah,
Henry Morgan, Arlene Francis, yep, and Bennett Cerf. There you go.
Bennett Cerf, man. I kind of like that guy.
Yep.
He was all right. He was sort of subtly funny in his own way without, being outlandish or anything. He had no gimmicks, this guy. All right. You have one going for four.
Okay. Horse racing, Lenny. Charismatic, the horse who won the 1999 Derby and Preakness while trying to complete the Triple Crown at Belmont, was pulled up and his jockey jumped off due to the horse's injury. Who was the jockey on Charismatic that day?
Oh, jeez.
Was it Gary Stevens, Jerry Bailey, Chris Antley, or Mario Pino?
Oh, God.
Oh, I do get that.
So with a D. D.
D as in dog? D as in dog?
Yeah.
All right,
W wasn't wrong. It was Chris Antley. Chris Antley, the late Chris Antley.
What made you throw in Mario Pino? Just as an oddball entry?
A good big rider for Grover Delp and them guys down in Laurel.
Going for six, Lenny, and a tie for the lead.
All right, Lenny, let's see if you can get this one. Sports. Who was the first person inducted into the fictitious athlete Hall of Fame? Kevin Costner, Sylvester Stallone, the Hanson brothers, or Gabe Kaplan?
Oh, Jesus. Wow. Oh, God.
So with Gabe Kaplan.
Kaplan for that basketball movie.
The coach in the Fish Who Saved Pittsburgh, but it was Sylvester Stallone.
Stallone, but that was too easy.
We did it.
You got one.
All right, there you go, Chronic, man. A total wipeout there by the Chronic. Gurggles, if you're having a good day or a bad day, it's always a good time to line up a Perdomo cigar, is it not?
Yeah, right here at Miami Lakes Golf Club. We're thriving. We're talking remodeling eventually. But right now, you can come into our pro shop and you can get the Champagne La Tradicion. You can get the Robusto or the Churchill. And if you're coming out here to play golf, buy it right here. If not, and you want to buy it for yourself, 5150 Northwest 167th Street on the Palmetto on the south side, just a little bit east of Home Depot. You don't have to go to the Maldives like I did, but I'll be stopping by there today. And what's around the corner, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget Father's Day. So if your husband is a cigar smoker, or your dad or your grandfather or your uncle, Perdomo is the perfect place to go. If you're not sure, they got variety packs, or you can get a gift certificate for them. 5150 Northwest 167th Street, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., 305-627-6700, the number to call for Perdomo cigars. They make them perfect one at a time, Cuban seed tobacco grown in Nicaragua. So tonight, when the Panthers win, 4-1. Put something great in your mouth with a cigar from Perdomo Cigars.
All right, we're going to come back with more. You can dial us up if you want to play. We'll play as many as we can before we hit the wire at 954-417-0070. Jump on board if you'd like to play the Trivia Challenge along with the great Dave Gurggles Gergely. We have Mike Lubitz. I'm Jeff DeForest, and we'll come back with more in a moment. Now that.
The time.
Thank you, Jenny. It's 8:37.
Here, let me ask you a question. What do you look for when you go out to eat? Good food, obviously, friendly atmosphere, not too loud, but good energy, reasonable prices, and a place where you feel comfortable. All those ingredients, no pun meant there, are hard to find unless you're talking about the Texas Roadhouse. You see, they encompass all of those attributes. Really, really good food, amazing atmosphere, good for a family, good for a date, or just a night out for yourself, and prices that will make you extremely happy. Their ribs unmatched, steaks hand-cut every day. Everything, and I mean everything, is made on site, including their incredible bread. It's the one day, folks, that you can forget about low-carb diets. Trust me when I tell you, Texas Roadhouse, your restaurant, your destination when you say, where should we go and eat tonight?
From the newly renovated sports bar to the beautiful bayside views captured at the Tiki Bar, Jimmy Johnson's Big Chill has it all. Located at mile marker 104, the Big Chill also offers waterfront dining while experiencing breathtaking sunset views of the Florida Keys. It's simply the hottest spot in the Keys to cool off. That's Jimmy Johnson's Big Chill at mile marker 104 in Key Largo. For more information, call today at 305-453-9066.
The world, I mean, if my point was ever going to be embellished and going to be proven true, the world has gotten me sugar nut.
Grab a bagel and a schmear, plus some Defo and Lubie. Welcome back to the Defo Show.
Welcome back to the show. Another scorcher. Looks like it's on tap here in South Florida. Great to have you guys with us. We got Mike Lubitz, Dave Gurggles Gergely, Jeff DeForest here. And happy to have you along for the ride. We're entrenched in the Trivia Challenge. 6 points went right up on the board there as Ron posted a number coming out of the chute. And you're invited to challenge. See if you can make your way into the finals and win the Landlubber's gift certificate at 954-417-0070. 954-417-0070. Right back into the game. We'll play as many as we can. So dial us up and feel free to dive into this competition. Here's our next set of questions with the great Dave Gurggles Gergely.
College hoops. This sports writer on Talking College Hoops with his wife recalled, I told my wife UConn would win the Big East tournament. She wanted to know why a team from Alaska got into the Big East tournament. Vic Spiegel, Vic Damone, Vic Davalillo, or Vic Wirtz?
Vic Davalillo, man. I used to love that guy. All right, here's a random phone scrambler, and it scrambles its way all the way out to Las Vegas, Nevada. And a great one himself, and it's always an honor to know that somebody would battle sleep and the elements and get up this early to play the Trivia Challenge. We welcome our good friend, our dear friend, the great Sheldon G., to the program. Sheldon, how are you?
Good morning. Good morning. Okay, it's 5:30 in the morning here.
Good morning, Sheldon.
Appreciate you joining us.
Sheldon, retired, you'd give up that paper route. You're delivering the Las Vegas Journal, I guess. Okay.
I think Sheldon G is scaling Red Rock Canyon or something. He gets up early and puts the hiking shoes on. Would it be worth considering, Sheldon G? I need your honest opinion on this. A little bit of advice, because part of my end game strategy, I've always been thinking about maybe living 1 year in Las Vegas and seeing what that was all about. Would it be a wise move, in your opinion, since you've been out there for a long time?
Well, if you like heat, yesterday was 102, so maybe that's up your alley.
Yeah, I know. I've been there in the summertime a couple of times, and it's bordering on dreadful. It's hard to be outside. But would you say it was an experience that somebody should definitely go ahead and give a shot, or just skip it?
Well, it's overcrowded. All the roads are packed. There's construction everywhere. You can't make a move without sitting in traffic for 20 minutes for a 2-minute ride. Restaurants are crowded, overpriced. Otherwise,
yeah. How was the play, Mrs. Lincoln? Very good. All right. Well, that was not particularly encouraging because it sounded. You may as well have described A1A here in Lauderdale by the Sea.
L.A.
All right. You have 1 point, Sheldon G. You're in the game. And,
all right, NBA hoops, Sheldon.
So,
believe it or not, Shaquille O'Neal once appeared on Curb Your Enthusiasm. True or false?
I would say false.
I would say
Oh,
true.
that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Larry David was at a Lakers game, tripped him on the floor. Shaq went to the hospital. When Larry went to visit him, they watched Seinfeld together.
You know
Sick
something, now
minds.
you say that, you're right. Yeah, I do remember that episode.
I remember it.
Thank you.
All right. We would like to, under a video review, give you that point, but we can't. So you have one going for 4.
All right, let's stick with Curb Your Enthusiasm. 3-point question. Which baseball player appeared on Curb Your Enthusiasm of the following? Ken Griffey Jr., Fernando Valenzuela, Sandy Koufax, or Bill Buckner?
Wow. Could be any of them.
No, that's an easy one.
I would say Ken Griffey Jr.
Griffey?
No, it was a great episode. Bill Buckner appeared and caught a baby from a fiery building.
Oh, that's right. I remember that.
They were like scared, freaking out because it's fucking Buckner.
Great parody. It's us.
Etches in and it saves.
I remember that scene. It was fantastic. Going for 6 points and a tie for the lead, Sheldon G.
All right, let's
Maybe a
hope we
spot
can
in the
get you
final.
on this golf. Get you home on this golf question. On this month in 2021, Phil Mickelson became the oldest major winner when he won the PGA at 50 years, 11 months, defeating Brooks Koepka and tied for second, two strokes behind. Was that Louis Oosthuizen, Paul Casey, Shane Lowry, or Colin Morikawa?
Well, knowing nothing about golf, I'll say B.
B. I'm going to say
you're
C.
right. You don't know anything about golf. It was Louis Oosthuizen.
Oh, Oosthuizen. Yeah.
Thanks for
Unbelievable.
go back.
Sheldon, always a pleasure. Are you going to be back in South Florida? Did you spend some time here recently and we didn't get a chance to see you?
I was there for the Derby. I was very overcrowded and back in Vegas. And I'm going to be moving soon, maybe in November, to Pennsylvania.
Oh, yeah. That's a serious change. Where are you going?
Where's
Allentown?
that? It's a place called Sharon, Pennsylvania, and it's
I know
about
where it
2
is,
minutes
sure.
from Mahoning Valley, and it's about an hour from the Meadows. And we bought a house there, 12-room house.
Wow,
beautiful,
sweet. Wow.
Western Pennsylvania was the home of Sharon Steel at one time, a great steel company. I know it well.
That's
Very
correct.
nice.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, enjoy it, Sheldon G.
Yeah,
Yeah, thanks, and thanks for playing. Thanks for being such a good supporter of all of our programs. We love it. We love hearing from Sheldon G. All right, try and squeeze in another one if you guys want to dial us up. It's 954-417-0070, 954-417-0070. While Lubie's looking into that, Gurggles, tell us some more about Perdomo Cigars. We can't hear enough good things
I'm going
about
to stop by today. As a matter of fact, I'm going to pick up a couple of Robustos. One of the guys that I'll visit with on Monday, 4 of us are playing golf. One was former PGA veteran Jimmy Boros, a guy named Bob Rakowski, and Barry Morrell. And Bobby's a little cigar smoker. He was a shortstop on our baseball team. So he likes the little Robustos. So I'll pick up a couple of champagnes for him. And I'll say hello to Nick Jr., and the crew there. And they've been in business quite a while now. They started on Flagler Street. Nick, you know the story. He was an air traffic controller, went over to the family business, and it's become terrifically successful. Visit them Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., 5150 Northwest 167th Street, right off the Palmetto, east of Home Depot. Say hello to Nick Jr. The whole family's involved. His lovely wife's involved, and Nick's mom as well. So it's a family affair, and they make terrific cigars. So 305-627-6700. Let's say it's Saturday or Sunday, and you go, geez, I forgot a cigar. Well, Perdomo's is closed on the weekend, but any cigar tobacconists worth their salt would have some. Just go online, www.perdomocigars.com. So tonight, when the Chronics go down again, put something great in your mouth with a cigar from Perdomo Cigar.
All right, well said, Dave Gurggles Gergely. Let's squeeze in another one before we go to the finals here. We do have Ron with 6 points. He's setting the pace. Nobody else with a worthy total of being in the final. So excellent shot to get there as we continue with Dave and our next set of questions.
Golf. This legendary sports writer on Life Before Hybrid Golf Clubs once said, actually, the only time I ever took a 1-iron out of my bag was to kill a tarantula, and it took 7 to do that. Right? Jim Murray, Jan Murray, Eddie Murray, or Murray the K?
What was the line from Lee Trevino? Not even God can hit a one iron.
Right, that's exactly right.
Well, a lightning strike just missed him. All right, here's a scrambler, and it lands on Pat, our good friend Pat. You're on the trivia challenge. Good morning, sir.
Hey, guys.
Hey, correct. Good job,
Hello,
Pat.
Pat.
Nice job. You passed the audition.
All right,
Very
Pat,
good.
wrestling. Believe it or not, in February of the year 2000, the Micro Wrestling Federation, the MWF, a wrestling promotion made up entirely of little people, was established. The promotion featured both serious wrestling matches and more comedic aspects of midget wrestling. True or false?
Wow.
Micro wrestling? I'll say true.
That has to be false. That's true?
It is true. It is true. Yes.
Who was the president of that thing? Sky Lolo?
Not the Fuzzy Cupid, the Jamaican Kid. Yeah, I remember them all. But no, they were gone by that time.
Yeah, I mean, you can make a whole category out of midget wrestling, and I think you would have the people's attention. There's no doubt about it. Although, we'd have to call it Dominion of People Wrestling now.
That's true.
In deference to the cancel culture. No, he missed that one, right?
No, he's the first one to get the true false. He
got it. Okay, very
got
good.
It. He said true. He said true.
All right, very nice. 2 for 2, going for 5.
All right, baseball. Which of the following Hall of Famers once appeared in a cameo role on Bewitched?
Oh, wow.
Was that Willie McCovey, Willie Mays, Don Drysdale, or Stan Musial?
I have to guess Drysdale.
That's what I would say. Drysdale.
No, believe it or not, 1966, Willie Mays appeared in an episode called Witch or Treat, where everyone appeared as black-skinned people, as a matter of fact. A little controversial.
Very risque today, yeah. Going for 7 here, Pat, and a spot in the finals.
Get him in the finals, yes. And take the lead, actually.
All right, one of the teams still alive in the Western Conference, they evened it up last night, the Edmonton Oilers. The Edmonton Oilers won their first round of playoffs in 80-81 versus the Montreal Canadiens. Then they lost in the second round to
New
York Islanders,
wow.
Philadelphia Flyers, Minnesota North Stars, or Boston Bruins.
No clue.
I'm going with the Flyers.
Had to be the North Stars.
No, the New York Islanders, 80-81.
Oh.
Well, Pat actually is in the finals because he has 2.
Good.
All right. You made it there, kid. Nice job.
One, except
We're
for
going to match up Pat and Ron for the championship. What do you have going this weekend, Gurgs? Anything special? You mentioned you're playing golf today. That's right. And you're going to Allentown.
Saturday, I'm going to Pennsylvania. We got the and
how do you fly there? You fly to Philadelphia? What do you do?
Well, this one is Fort Lauderdale, Charlotte, right to Allentown. As a matter of fact.
They actually have
when
planes
I
going
go
in
back in August, I'm flying Miami to Charlotte, then I fly to Philly, and then I take a bus, believe it or not. But this one, right in Allentown, I'm staying in a hotel right across the street from the airport, and within 2 miles is the Mohegan Sun Downs, an OTB parlor.
Oh, my God.
It'll work
How
out
great
just
is that?
fine. Yep.
Holy moly. Any visits to the Poconos? I mean,
No. I just I've got some the picnic on Sunday. I've got some other people to take the breakfast, golf on Monday, and I come back on Tuesday. So it's
all right,
kind of
sounds good. And you don't have to worry about the answer to what happened to you because you look good for a guy. I would imagine that you're
for you. I already told Lubie I like the over 83 for you because that old axiom, the good die young.
It's scary to think that that's only 10 years away, Gurggles. I mean, I'm a month away from turning 73 here. That's totally fucked up. I don't care how you look at it.
Bill Walton, you had to think about it when Bill Walton checked out at 72.
Well, it was weird because I had no idea he had cancer. I'd never heard anything about that. Had you?
Yeah.
Lubie said there were some intimations that something was up because he stopped broadcasting, in February? But I had just seen him on a game.
Yeah, he
seems
was
like. And he was fine.
For the Pac-12. But yeah, I didn't hear it like widespread.
No, it was unbelievable. Yeah, I was stunned by that. I mean, especially
Leslie Visser, and she was saddened too. She worked with him a couple of times.
Had a picture of her with Bill Walton that she sent me. I don't know if she sent you that same thing. And No, he was just he was one of these guys that you couldn't help but feel good when you heard him doing a game. It was fantastic, and what a pleasant departure from the usual dribble that you get. Hey, he's got to dribble the ball into traffic here. You're like, I don't know. I don't need some guy screaming at me about X's and O's. It was much more fun to listen to this guy just enjoying life and the way that he revered the people that he had played ball with. And people forget. I remember being sort of riveted to that 76-77 championship series. I remember watching it with a friend of mine. I just was on my first, if you could call it journalism job. I was working at a little newspaper, and I remember watching these games very intently with a friend of mine. And what a clinic he put on in that series. And they were down 0-2, right? In that series. Who they played? The 76ers, I want to say.
Yeah, and I think Jack Ramsey was with Portland back then.
Yeah. He was the coach. He wore these wild pants. I mean, holy Dale Brown, what were we talking about here? But Walton was great, a brilliant basketball player and a lot of fun. A lot of people just never saw him play basketball, but so dominant when he was at UCLA. They went 30-0, I think, with his freshman team. And then he was part of that 88-game winning streak. He was in the substantial portion of those games. I think like 70 of them or more were featuring Bill Walton in the post. He was brilliant. All right, ready for the finals here. We got Ron and Pat. They're all set up. Gurggles is going to fire off the question. Call out your name if you want to answer. Nobody answers right away. We offer multiple choice. First person to call out his name gets first choice. We go back and forth until we have a winner. And here we go for the championship.
Good luck, guys. Baseball. On this month, way back in 1962, this New York Yankee followed Joe DiMaggio's record of hitting 2 home runs in the same inning. DiMaggio did it first. Who was that Yankee in 1962 who became the second one to do that?
All right. Anybody? Here's multiple choice.
Is it Mickey Mantle, Tony Kubek, Moose Skowron, or Joe Pepitone?
Jeez.
Pat.
Yeah,
Pat, who was it?
Kubek.
Tony Kubek. Incorrect. 3 left for Ron.
Was it Mickey Mantle, Moose Skowron, or Joe Pepitone?
Let's go Moose Skowron.
That's what I would have said.
It's got to be Moose. Oh, no.
No, they're not booing. They're saying Moose.
All right,
2 left. 2 left for Pat.
Mickey Mantle or Joe Pepitone?
God.
Could it be the obvious? Pepitone. He says Pepitone.
It says Pepitone.
It is Pepitone. All right, very
Joe
good.
Pepitone.
Hey, way to go, Pat, man. Nice job scoring that gift certificate to Landlubbers. You could probably use it tonight if you're heading out there with Lubie. Thanks so much, guys, for playing the game. Gurggles, you have a good time up there. How many people are left? That would be the question. How many years does this span?
It's several different schools. So, the last time I went, last year, I think it was the first year I went, and one of the guys serving the beer, I played 8th grade basketball with in 1966. So it's just a delight to see all these guys and reminisce and say how good we thought we were. But,
were you a trick shot artist back then? Because
no, I was pretty much pulling splinters out back then.
Yeah.
As far as that. But I was.
You could have been on the Globetrotters, Gurggles. People don't realize what kind of basketball prowess this guy had. But I've seen Gurggles shoot free throws left-handed from his knees and make them. No, I mean you really had a bizarre ability. I don't know that you could have played varsity ball at some college, but
I just stopped doing that only because I can't get up off my knees.
Yeah, don't bend over because you may not be able to get up. Right, that's the old prison.
All right, we'll see you next Thursday.
Very good, Dave Gurggles Gergely, ladies and gentlemen. All right, that was fun. We finally got a trivia challenge. Always a nice departure from our in-depth analysis of hockey. I was enjoying this, but it never ceases to amaze me how this happens time and again, right? The old Cyndi Lauper thing, time after time, where you have a big star and a highly ranked player, especially men's and women's tennis, and they're on the ropes. They're about to lose, and somehow the person that's about to spring the upset just ends up completely falling apart. Even if they don't completely fall apart, they find a way to lose the match as much as the other player found a way to win. And that happened with Naomi Osaka, who I still remember seeing when she was 14 at the Pompano Municipal Park. And my buddy at the time, he used to play every day with this guy named Mark, who I was friends with. And we'd go out there every day, and we'd see this girl knocking the shit out of the ball, Lubie. And we would ask, hey, who's that? And I remember somebody telling me that's Naomi Osaka, whose name would have been perfectly forgettable, but a couple of years later she surfaces winning Grand Slams. And then, of course, the story is legendary that her parents had a deal with the coach that he was donating his time and working out there for free for many, many years. Obviously did a great job laying the foundation for her. And I don't think he's still at Pompano, this guy, but he was supposed to get, they signed a deal where he was going to get 10% of all of her career earnings in, gratitude for him donating all this time while she was making nothing. And then they stiffed him, right? She ended up winning Indian Wells, I think was her first tournament win, over $1 million. And not a senor coming from the family to this guy who I think had some kind of lawsuit against him, but I don't know that he ever got any of the capital. And of course, Osaka then, who was living here for many years, then declared that she was of Japanese descent, which I guess she is.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, she was making $400 million a year in endorsement money because the Japanese, nobody embraces their star athletes more than the Japanese in terms of just laying all kinds of endorsement capital on them. And so yeah, I mean, big stiff job there. Imagine this poor guy. He didn't even get to like the $20 an hour he normally would have got.
Yeah, the whole thing was weird. Look, first of all, they should have had an actual deal instead of a handshake. And I'm sure
you can't trust people anymore. Louis.
Her
That's
and other people helped her get elsewhere, but still, the guy. And
he was out there with her every day, like a day like this, pounding shots for 2-3 hours.
He wasn't a schmank. He had done it with other people. Like he knew what he was doing, and they were going to him. Like I don't know. You should take care of the people that help you get where you go.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. She still is, even after all the disasters, she was still making tons of money. Like,
oh, I'm sure she's still like a high endorsement draw.
Feed him some money. Like, come on.
Unbelievable. Yeah. But I mean, she had it going on. I mean, she had some games. She's not a big clay court player. She's more of a hard court player. And Swiatek, the number one player in the world, I'm giving the Shv pronunciation. Does anybody else do that besides Leslie Visser?
I've never heard
Swiatek.
I've never heard the name.
It could be, though, when you look at the Polish spelling, the SW, is that not a Shv? Like a Schwitz?
I've never actually heard someone say it outside of you and Visser Mamo. So I don't know how the tennis pros pronounce it, to be brutally honest.
I'm going to have to watch a little tennis channel today, and I'm sure they'll mention her name at least somewhere.
So I'm curious how they say it.
I think I've heard it any number of ways. It used to be like Swiatek, they used to call her.
Yes, because that's how it's spelled.
Then it was Swiatek, and then it was Swiatek, then it was Swiatek. I don't know, man. Polish spellings are always a little weird. I did a bunch of matches, boxing matches, on tape that were taking place in Warsaw, Poland. And they had a light heavyweight who was, I thought, a stiff, but somehow he had a share of one of the titles there. And his name was Tomasz Włodarczyk.
Okay.
And I can't remember. I don't think there was any CHs involved there. So, that Shvi thing could be working with Swiatek. We'll see. But I'll have to listen. It's amazing. I've seen her a zillion times, and I still don't know how to pronounce her name. I think Leslie just did that to me to fuck with me.
100%, because I've never heard it pronounced at all.
But she's very particular about this sort of thing. So get Jim Sarney. We need a consultation with Sarney. He would know. What the correct pronunciation is. Sarney has to be sad, though. I think the women's professional hockey league season came to an end yesterday with a championship game. I was watching, what was it, like Buffalo against Indiana? I'm not even sure who was playing. Boston, I think, was one of the teams. Women's professional hockey league.
I didn't know that was a thing, so good for them.
I'm sure Jim was tuned into that. All right, we have to run. We will see you guys later on today. We're going to have Mike Mayo's Lunchbox coming your way at 1 o'clock. A late scratch on the schedule.
Yes.
So we won't be at Gilbert's, which we had mentioned.
Yes,
I was looking forward to that. But nonetheless, we will be coming your way at 1 o'clock today with Mike Mayo.
Yes.
The esteemed Mike Mayo. How was Mayo yesterday? Is he still on the diet? What's going on?
I don't know what he's doing outside of the show, so I'm hoping that he's living free on the show and eating well off of it, because he's sort of let loose. He ate a lot yesterday.
He what?
He ate a lot yesterday.
Oh, he did? Okay.
He went for it. So,
those strombolis would be good for you, too, the calzones and everything.
But they brought out pasta. He ate that. They brought out the shrimp parm, and he was supposed to just have a little bit. He ended up eating half of that. He didn't have any of the stromboli, actually, but they brought out an Italian sub, and he ate a whole quarter.
Little big bite, yeah.
took a
All
big
right, I'm sort of happy that he's on that run. I mean, this would be like putting a pyramid of cocaine in front of Belushi, and he abstains.
I don't care what he does on the show. I just hope I hope off the show he didn't go back to his old ways. Like,
I going and having dinner right after, yeah.
And then after the show, eat light. I don't know. On the show, he's letting it fly.
I haven't seen him for a few days. How's he looking? All right.
He looks fine.
Oh, good.
He's feeling okay. Just, I'm curious about his eating habits elsewhere. So we'll see.
I would imagine that is a very difficult pattern to change. Well, we know that, Lubie, right?
100%.
Yeah. I mean, eating disorder and down order is a real eating disorder. No doubt. All right. We'll see you at 1 o'clock today. Thanks so much for tuning in, everybody. For Mike Lubie Lubitz, Dave Gurggles Gergely, I'm Jeff DeForest. We will see you tomorrow at Degenerate Friday. I can't believe the week's already done. And we will leave you now that.
The time.
It's 9:02.
Let's go to eat a damn snack.
Look what they done to